Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of your community, giving you double the information and inspiration. You're listening to A New Day, and I'm your host, Juicy J. Mr. Bay is away. He is actually out of town, so he will not be joining us this week. So I have two special guests with me today. I have Mr. Taveion Morris.
How you doing?
And then I have Mr. Czar McKinney.
How you doing?
And so we're going to be piggybacking off of what we discussed last week, which is going to be unity in the community and how we can save the children with a lot of the gun violence that's going on in the schools. But before we get started, we definitely got to do a little bit of self-promotion. So we want to thank our two sponsors for the show. Of course, Blue Crew Painters. As you can see, you got Blue Crew with us as well because it is a family business. So this is my oldest son here. To my left, and then of course we want to thank Zuri Bath and Body. So since Mr. Bay is not here to tell us what's going on with Blue Crew, Taveion, can you tell us what's been going on with Blue Crew this week and last week?
Well, last week for Blue Crew, we pretty much wrapped up a few jobs, so my dad can head out of town. And this week, we pretty much getting ready to start a few jobs. We just closed out a job today in Uptown Charlotte. So after that, we'll be moving forward in Matthews and continuing a few jobs there.
All right, good. So, of course, with Zuri, we're getting ready for the holiday season. So, creating new scents as always. Getting prepared for another sip and shop that's going to be located here in Charlotte off of Central Avenue. So, those that missed the one on last month, I will give you guys some more updates as to the exact date and when you guys can come out and join Zuri and, of course, Blue Crew out at Cork and Crate. Cesar, what's been going on in your world this past week? We're not going to leave you out today.
Nothing much. Just trying to get through it. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. We salute you. Thank you for all your services. Long weekend at work, cooking for the vets. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So since you guys did not join us last week, but I know, Taveion, you actually did tune into the show on last week. And so the last thing that we left off of was that we were definitely talking about what's been going on at Butler High School with the incident with the two young men. We are not saying their names on the show at this time for the respect of the families, and because of the fact that I still want to respect the fact that they are minors, even though here in North Carolina they have been exposing their faces on TV and their names. But here on the show, we're going to actually respect that, so we're not going to disclose the names. But because the both of you guys have actually graduated from one of the schools that has been in the news lately with gun confiscation, what do you guys think about metal detectors being in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County schools? Taveion, we'll start with you.
Me personally, I don't, as far as what's been going on now, I definitely don't see metal detectors being a problem, especially with the lack of education as far as guns and as far as their uses and the education of them within the schools. So I will say metal detectors definitely should be implemented in as far as moving forward to for the protection of everyone, not just the students.
Azar, what about you?
Just basically agreeing with what Taveion said. Today's day and age, there's a lot of mass shootings going on. And I don't think that it's a lot. I just think that America is just now waking up to it. Because this has been happening since, before we even entered high school or whatever. Right. So I definitely don't see a problem with it going forward. There might be some people that might be opposed to it because it might seem as though it might be like sort of imprisoning their children in a way, but I don't think that, they'll feel that same way once they understand that it's for the safety of the child,
Okay. So another thing, so we mentioned about the metal detectors, but then we also mentioned about the lack of communication is one of the things that we touched vaguely on last week. And so from a parent standpoint, from especially having children recently graduated from high school and then two boys that are still in high school. So one of the biggest things that I can say is that did not sit well with me as a parent was that the mom was not notified when the young man was shot or even when the fight took place. So again, from you guys actually being, former students not too long ago, what do you think has changed? Or did you guys see a lack of communication within the security staff, the teacher staff, when altercations at the school broke out?
Well, me personally, I definitely feel like in this day and age, everybody knows like pretty much what's going on. I'm sure students knew what was going on. I'm sure teachers knew what was going on, and then for it to be put on social media first and like the internet to be the first one to know and it be produced on a mass level like that, I really don't feel like that helps the situation, because at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, it's a lot of lives at risk. It's a lot of kids and a lot of parents that's expecting to go to school and make it home safely, and then
Absolutely.
for a parent to not know. Well, okay, so me being a father, me being a soon-to-be father, I feel like if that was to happen to my child and like the school knew and they knew like the student it happened to especially, and they weren't the first ones to know, and the fact that the mother had to basically like blow the school up, well, not blow the school up, but like you know what I'm saying, like reach out to the school.
Let's just say she was continuing to call.
Yeah, continuously call the school. I don't think that should happen. The school should be the first ones to notify the parents. The internet shouldn't be the ones to put your child out there like that, especially on that level.
Right. You want to add anything, Czar?
Not too much. I just I agree that there was a lack of communication on behalf of the school's part, and I believe that there was also jobs not being done correctly. But in situations like that, everything just happens so quickly. You kind of don't know how to react. So I think it was just more so failure on the school's behalf to provide the students with a safe environment.
All right. So we touched on a few topics on this first segment. We're going to take a little break. Definitely have to pay a few bills. We're going to play a little music. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. You're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of your community, giving you double the information and inspiration. Stay tuned.